Know whether the death of King Faisal preceded the work of the Vanel Corporation or whether the Vanel Corporation's contract began on the 25th of March, but it's awfully important because whether those men stay alive or not is the function of their inner guard, because once you relax the guard, you open up a hornet's nest. A lot of people would like to control the bank accounts of Saudi Arabia and Kuwait and Dhofar and the rest of them. And what keeps the king alive is not the election of the populace, because they don't go through that routine over there. It's simply his guard. So this is a key to it. And the guard in many of these countries throughout the world, where there have been so many coups d'etats, a euphemism for the work of mechanics or assassination, these guards for many, many years, in my experience for more than 20, 25 years, I was in Saudi Arabia in 1943 on clandestine activities, is the work of the Central Intelligence Agency. And the people who let the contracts for the Central Intelligence Agency are called the Department of Defense. And then the people who do the work are called such companies as the Vanel Corporation or Air America or some of these others. So you begin to see what comes about. And since I didn't come here this afternoon to really get into the assassination picture too deeply, I wanted to set a stage for it. So let me jump to some of the things that we know about without having to dig too far under the surface. That in 1953 the CIA had a problem, only this time it was in the country of Iran. And Mossadegh died of lead poisoning, and the Shah, who was escaping to the Riviera, was brought back to resume the long 2,500-year line of Cyprus, King Cyrus, and now he leads the country of Iran at the pleasure of the agency's #1 man in the world today, Richard Helms, who is called ambassador. And so as long as the guard in Iran can keep the Shah alive, he'll be our man there. And as long as the Shah is our man, he'll probably be alive. In Jordan, where King Hussein jets around and lives by grace of his elite guard, that guard has been trained through various corporate devices by the Central Intelligence Agency for at least 20 years. And King Hussein has about the same chances of surviving that Faisal or Hassan or the Shah have, and that is that if he plays the game, his guard will take care of him. These are important considerations because they're right there in the record. The thing is that we in this country don't think of it that way very often. You see, they don't have elections in many of these third-tier countries. How do you replace somebody? This evening we'll hear some talk from Mrs. Allende. How do you replace people in countries where there is not provision for election? The people in power hold the power until somebody else is strong enough to take it away. And that ability to take it away is a very fleeting thing sometimes, as it was in the case of Trujillo or in the case of Diem. But in every case, there are many people willing to move in and become heads of state. And if the guard, which is trained in many cases by our own CIA, part of their business. Now, many people write about that or know about it, but that's part of their prime business in the clandestine area. Then the men have the defense that's necessary to keep them alive. Now, I'll close with an example, but I think it's an extremely pertinent one because it leads to what will follow me on this program. The case of Nodin Diem.